Chapter 2, Referred Service Log Entries. Our referred service entry within the benchmark cost time log is for any service that has been referred on or after January 1st, 2016, and the service status is referred or withdrawn. Referred service entries require entry of the service type category, child or family name, referral number, benchmark action item, completion date, expense type and amount if applicable, and practice and/or travel time if applicable. Comments are optional. To make a referred service entry, log into the SWAN portal using your assigned username and password. Select Benchmarks from the menu to the left of the screen. Select Benchmark Cost Time Log Entry. Before completing the entry, please note the following. Note the entry period runs from the first of the current month to the invoice due date of the following month. Note the 3 blank lines within the Benchmark Expenses and Effort section. This is where you will make your cost and time entries. As you fill up available rows, selecting the Add Blank Rows option will create additional entry lines. Within one of the blank entry lines, select a service from the Service Type category drop-down list, for example, Child Preparation. Select a child or family name from the applicable drop-down list. The drop-down list populates based on the services referred to your agency. Because we are making a child service entry, make a selection from the child drop-down list. Let's select child name Thomas Smith. Referral number auto-populates based on the selected service type category and child or family. Select the applicable benchmark action item from the drop-down list. Remember, the benchmark action items displayed are based upon the selected service assignment date. Let's select item number 1, Initial Referral. Enter completion date by selecting from the calendar or entering 2 digits for the month, 2 digits for the day, and 4 digits for the year. Please note, date cannot be a future date, or if a caseworker or benchmark user, the date cannot be prior to the service entry time frame. Let's enter February 1st, 2019. Select the miles or parking tolls expense type and enter the expense amount, for example, 25 miles. Enter applicable practice and/or travel time. Please note, time must be entered in 15-minute increments, that is, 0.15, 0.30, 0.45, etc. Let's enter 2 hours of practice time and 30 minutes of travel time. Enter a comment if applicable. Upon completion, select Save. Please note, to avoid a system timeout and lost data, it is suggested to select Save after each log entry. Upon save, the entry saves in descending date order separating time and expense. Additionally, the monthly and weekly totals, as applicable, are updated. Several items are required for referred service entries. A rule violation will display if required items are not addressed. For referred service entries, upon selecting Save, a rule violation displays if a service type category is not selected, if a child or family is not selected, or if completion date is not entered or occurs in the past and you are a caseworker or benchmark user. A rule violation will also display if no expense or time is entered, if time is not entered in 15-minute increments, or if time is entered with no benchmark action item selected, or if a benchmark action item is selected with no time entered. Rule violations must be resolved prior to the entry saving. Let's demonstrate a referred service entry rule violation where the completion date is mistakenly omitted. Within a blank row of the Benchmark Cost Time Log Entry screen, create a new entry. Select Service Type Category from the drop-down list, for example, Child Profile. Select a child from the Child drop-down list. Let's select child name Jennifer Gamble. Remember, The child or family drop-down list populates based on services referred to your agency. Referral number auto-populates based on the selected service type category and the child or family selected. Select the benchmark action item from the drop-down list, remembering that the benchmark action items available are determined by the service assign date. Let's select item number 3, Child Profile Task. So that the rule violation can be demonstrated, omit the completion date. Select applicable miles or parking tolls expense type and enter the expense amount. For example, a $2.25 parking tolls expense. Enter applicable practice and/or travel time. Let's enter 1 hour of practice time and 15 minutes of travel time. Enter comments if applicable and select Save. Upon save, at the top of the screen, a rule violation is displayed indicating the violation. In this case, the completion date is missing. To resolve the rule violation, enter the missing information or adjust the errant data and select Save. For this demonstration, enter a completion date, for example, February 4th, 2019. The entry saves in descending completion date order and separates the time and expense entries. The monthly and weekly totals are updated accordingly. For referred service entries, various warnings will display upon save if the following issues are encountered. If more than 12 hours of time is entered for a single day, if more than 50 hours of time is entered for a single week, and/or if a duplicative cost or time entry is made. Warnings will not prevent an entry from being saved, but instead provides the warning so that the user may verify entry accuracy. Let's demonstrate a referred service entry warning where an expense entry is duplicated. Within a blank row of the benchmark cost time log entry screen, create a new entry. Select the same service type category as entered in the previous demonstration, Child Profile. From the Child drop-down list, select the same child name from the previous demonstration, Child Name Jennifer Gamble. Referral number auto-populates based on the selected service type category and child name. Select the same applicable benchmark action item as the previous example. Benchmark action item number 3, Child Profile Task. Enter the same completion date as the previous entry, February 4th, 2019. Select and then enter the same expense type and amount, $2.25 parking tolls expense. Enter practice and/or travel time amounts, 1 hour of practice time and 15 minutes of travel time. Enter comments if applicable. Select Save, and you will note the duplicate expense and time warnings displayed at the top of the screen with the row numbers referenced. There are several ways to address a warning. Users may 1. Correct the referenced issue, select Save, and the warning will no longer display. 2. The user may select Acknowledge to acknowledge that the warning was viewed and to prevent the warning from continuing to display. By selecting Acknowledge next to the warning no longer displays. Each warning must be acknowledged for the warning to no longer display. Finally, warnings may also be ignored but will continue to display. Updating referred service entries. Referred service entries only remain in the benchmark cost time log during the applicable entry time period. The items available for updating include completion date, expense type, expense amount, practice and travel time, and comments. Let's demonstrate. To update a referred service entry, simply edit the applicable items and select Save. For example, let's adjust the practice time on a saved entry. Let's change 1 hour of practice time to 1¼ hours of practice time. Selecting Save after making the adjustment updates and saves the entry. If a referred service entry needs to be removed, selecting the trash can to the left of the entry deletes the entry from the log. Selecting the trash can will ask if you are sure you want to delete that entry. Click OK to delete or Cancel to not delete. Caseworkers can only delete their own entries. However, supervisors can delete any entry. If unable to delete, there's no trash can icon. For referred service entries, the SWAN portal is designed to report cost and time data from the benchmarks. Therefore, to ensure that all cost and time data is accurately reported, all information entered via the benchmark cost time log is reproduced in the benchmarks of the child or family for whom services are completed. Likewise, all cost and time data entered into the benchmarks by a supervisor only is reproduced by the system in the benchmark cost time log. This ensures that cost and time data is consistent within both utilities and eliminates the need for duplicative entry. Let's verify that the child preparation log entry demonstrated earlier for the child named Thomas Smith has populated the benchmark. To view the cost time log entries within the benchmark, log into the SWAN portal using your assigned username and password. Select Benchmarks from the menu to the left of the screen. Within the benchmark search screen, select the child or family radio button depending on the benchmark you are searching, and enter the search criteria. For this demonstration, select the child radio button. Enter child last name Smith and the child first name Thomas. From the benchmark type drop-down list, select Child Preparation. Select Search. Within the search results and under the benchmark type column, click on the service name to display the benchmark. Viewing the benchmarks expenses section of the benchmark displays the referred service expense entry of 25 miles. Viewing the benchmark item number 1, initial referral, displays the practice and travel time entries of 2 hours practice time and 30 minutes travel time. This concludes the demonstration of referred service log entries.